Hey all, Cypher, and welcome back to another Outerplane video. Finally, Eternal, the rogue magician, the necromancer, she is here, guys. And it's time to see if she is worth the hype, right? Let's see if you should be able to pulling her in the next patch. Let's read a little bit of her introduction. Eternal, a hero capable of removing enemies' buffs and inflicting reduced defense debuffs, will be featured in the upcoming drop rate of events. So she's a fire mage, right? Enchanter. And she is gonna be drop rate up from 7th to 20th, so I would say broadly 2 weeks, and then she'll be pushed down to the normal recruit. So let's check her skills in detail, right? Her first skill is called Dead Man's Party, attacks 2 enemies and has a 65% chance to reduce a target's defense for 2 turns. It's usual. After you skill her up, if you skill her up, I would say you probably only skill your basic up to level 3 just to get the extra 10%. And that should put it to 75%, which is a pretty respectable chance, honestly. That's not bad at all. Her second skill, Fool's Paradise, attacks 2 enemies, 85% chance to inflict reduced defense, reduced speed on all enemies for 2 turns. Additionally, has an 85% chance to inflict unhealable on earth targets for 2 turns. And the base cooldown is 4. You can probably push it down to 3. This is amazing. But the one thing that I'm pretty confused about is if she's only gonna attack 2 enemies, how is it gonna inflict reduced defense and reduced speed on all enemies? Probably is it working like that, or is it like I'm just reading it wrong or something? I don't know. So she's gonna attack, she's gonna do damage to 2 enemies, but the effects are gonna be applying to all enemies, right? I hope that's how it sounds. Also, I think she's just a direct counter to, sorry, not counter exactly, but she seems like a direct counter to Noah teams because of her focus on Earth targets. Even Noah, Rona, who else is meta? Alice is not exactly meta, but you sometimes see her here and there. But yeah, she just seems like an upgraded version of Alice, and you'll see what I mean by that. You'll see. Let's check out her next skill, right? Let's just check it out. No One Lives Forever. Attacks 2 enemies, 85% chance to remove 1 buff from the target. If the target is Earth, it will also inflict reduced evasion. So say goodbye to evasion on your Noahs, build more evasion on Noahs. She's just gonna counter all of that. I would really hope, if this was like an AoE reduced evasion for 2 turns, I think she would single-handedly be one of the most broken heroes for PvP, in the current state of PvP, at least. But the fact that it's not, AoE, it's only on Earth elements, I think it's pretty cool, and the fact that it also has an 85% chance to remove 1 buff. So suppose if Valentine goes first, she's gonna put up those buffs, then she's gonna do her AoE, right? And then if your speed is good enough and your Eternal moves next, she's gonna be able to strip 1 buff off of them, right? And in the long run it probably will match her, but in the short run it might not, because if the heroes do get a turn, there's a good chance your heroes will still die anyways. But it's just a good mechanic, something extra to work with. There's no concept of immunity in the game as of now, right? There's no real runes or something like in Summoner's War, or simply immunity runes like in Epic 7, where heroes have like 1 turn immunity at the start of battle. But in the future it might be, right? And I think this is going to be a great counter for that. Coming to her, the skill enhancement effects, you can probably enhance this to 2nd or 3rd level for the extra cooldown and the extra 15%, so that will make it a complete 100%. So 100% is probably, after that, many people think if it's 100%, it should not miss, right? But there are other factors that are taken into account: resilience, evasion, effectiveness, and accuracy. At least that's what I feel. Now I know some big brain person should probably make a calculator or something to calculate it, but I do know those four stats, they do matter. But yeah, 85% is pretty much 100% guaranteed. Then only your stats will matter. For example, if your accuracy is going to be higher than the enemy's evasion, it's going to land. For sure, it's going to land, right? So there's that. Take a look at her skill burst, right? Her skill burst is it changes to a single attack, deals more damage, and increases effectiveness for 2 turns. I don't know why it would change to a single attack, probably just for some extra burst, right? But I think 2 enemies as it is pretty fine, unless her damage is pretty abysmal. which I'm hoping it might be because she is more of a support, right? She's not supposed to be your core DPS. Her second burst is just more increased damage, and her last burst is it steals buff. Cool. I mean, I don't think it's gonna go up to third stage, but you know, cool. Coming to her chains and unique passives, her chill skin. Okay, so she's a starter. Man, I was really hoping for her to be a starter because there's so less, you know, starter chain heroes. I think there's only Rona or something. Probably even Beth. I think Beth is also a starter. So let's see her effects. After attacking, grants find weakness to all allies for 2 turns. The dual effect attack, it says after attacking has an 85% chance to reduce a target's defense. What is this find weakness to all allies? They do not mention this about her, but probably something cool. Probably something like increased effectiveness or something. Anyways, coming to her abilities, I think that she's pretty solid. The fact that on her basic attack she has double hit chance to reduce target's defense for 2 turns. You do not see this any day. This is pretty rare, guys. Usually there's a single target defense down attack, you know. But now she's attacking 2 enemies. Amazing. Also, Fool's Paradise, just AoE, defense down, speed down, unhealable on earth enemies, and lastly her ultimate. You know, removes 1 buffs, evasion down on earth enemies. I think she's pretty good. She's pretty niche. Now, if I was you, and if I had to choose between, you know, pulling for Eternal or pulling for Veronica, this would be a pretty tough choice to make. Keep in mind, because Veronica, you know, Veronica I think might be better just for overall progression than Eternal is, honestly. Just because of her dual attacks, her defense buff, her big fat shields, her AoE ability, which also does decent damage. Keep in mind, her AoE ability also removes 1 buff from enemies. So yeah, if you were a new player and you only had 1 pity to you know do, I'd probably just go for Veronica, honestly, compared to Eternal. Because while Eternal is pretty cool, I think she's more on the offensive side than the defensive side. Meanwhile, Veronica is just a general PvE goddess. Like, she is hands down PvE goddess, and she's not even bad in PvP either. I know a lot of players who work with Veronica, you know, especially with Leo. She's a monster. She is literally a monster. But yeah, anyways, that's it. That's my 2 cents on Eternal, and whether you should pull for her or for Veronica. Keep in mind, do let me know in comments what are your own thoughts on Eternal, and are you going to be pulling for her? Me personally, I'll firstly probably pull for Veronica first, and then Eternal, you know, if I have the amount of summons left, because I'm only ready for 1 pity, guys. So me personally, if I had to pity, I'd probably just pity Veronica. But yeah, that's me. If you already have Veronica, just go for Eternal, no worries, right? But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys later. Peace.